Hi, I'm Phyllis from southernfrugal.com. Today I'm going to make some stuffed crepes, and they're going to be a savory stuffed crepe. We're going to stuff them with some beef tips, mushrooms, a little onion, but first we've got to make the crepes. So this recipe is going to make 10 for sure. It might even make 12. But we're going to go ahead and do that first and have that out of the way, and then we'll make the filling. Alright, we're ready. Alright, for the crepes, you're going to need 3 large eggs, and I'm going to go ahead and put those in and just beat them up. And we're going to need 2 non-stick skillets. And I see I've gotten the wrong skillet out here. That one doesn't work. So I have to get my other one out. Alright, so we want to beat these eggs really, really well. And I'm going to go ahead and to the eggs I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add a really heaping 1/4 of a teaspoon, so that's more like 1/2 teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning. Now you can add any kind of seasoning that you'd like. You know, I would tend to think garlic powder, onion powder, dill weed, oregano, thyme, whatever you like. I just happen to super like the Old Bay, and I do like to go ahead and put it in with the eggs. Alright, so we've got that. Now I've got to get my other skillet, so hold on a minute. My other skillet's in the dishwasher, y'all. We'll be back in a minute. Alright, we're back. I had to actually wash my other skillet. Anyway, you need 2 non-stick skillets. And I'm going to go ahead and turn those on medium and get them heating up while we're mixing the crepe batter. Alright, we're ready now. Alright. Now these eggs are pretty well at room temperature, and so is my half and half. Now this is half and half, 1/2 whole milk and 1/2 cream. So I'm going to dump that in with the eggs. And then to this we're going to dump in 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Now it's not hot, it's just, you know, melted. So I'm going to dump out 2 of the tablespoons and leave 1 of them in there because we're going to use it to butter our pans. Alright, so that should do it. Alright, now we're just going to mix these wet ingredients really well. Now this is going to be a really runny batter, or it will appear to be really runny. I'm going to add a tablespoon or so of chopped Italian parsley. Just put that right in the wet ingredients. Now we're ready to start adding the flour. So we're going to need 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. So I'm going to get rid of that 1/4 of the cup first. Now you want to sift that flour before you measure it. That way you don't have a problem with lumps later on when they're in the batter. So I'm going to add a little more of the flour, about 1/2 that cup. And I just go ahead and do it with the whisk. It's just a lot easier because the batter, you know, you can use an electric mixer, or you can use your Vitamix, or you can use a blender. Alright, we'll dump the rest of this flour in now. So it's like a really runny pancake batter is what it's like. Except in this case it's not going to be sweet. And I really don't leave mine, you know, a lot of recipes tell you to, you know, let it sit in the refrigerator for 15 or 20 minutes. I don't even do that because mine is going to be pretty much at room temperature, which is exactly where I want it to cook the crepes. I just think that makes a better crepe. I don't know why, I just do. Just keep mixing that until all the ingredients are thoroughly mixed. And you shouldn't see any lumps, or if you do see a few little ones on top, it certainly wouldn't hurt anything. All right, that should do it. All right, now we're ready to start baking these or frying them, or however they do it, I don't know. All right, so there are the skillets. Now I'm going to use, this is an old Martha Stewart little spatula, and of course it's been used a lot. So that's what I'm going to use to loosen the sides. So we need to now just grease the skillets just a little bit. Just want to get the little bit of butter all around. And what I'm going to do, you'll see me doing this, I'm going to switch the skillets back and forth between the two burners. And I do that because I've only got one large burner. The other burners are smaller. Anyway, you'll see. All right, so we want to take a 4-cup measure. This is the same one I had the flour in, and that's the amount that's going to be needed for the skillets. Now, once I dump that batter in, by the way, I'm going to turn the burners down just a touch, just a little below medium. And you want to keep your whisk in the batter and, you know, beat it around after you've, or just before you get ready to dip some out. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to be picking these skillets up. Let me get my sleeves up because we are really cooking now. All right, so here we go. A little less than 1/4 of a cup. Dump it in and immediately start rolling it around. Already smells good. And I'm going to take the second one, dump that one in, immediately roll it around. Alright, now you just need to let them cook till they start looking a little dry. Then you want to make sure the sides are loosened. Now I like mine a little brown. So let me see how that one's doing now. It's not really brown yet. They already smell really good. Now we're going to stuff these, after I've cooked them all, we're going to stuff them with some beef tips and mushrooms. So I'll show you how I'm going to fix the filling as soon as we get all of these cooked. I'm just going to do a couple of them. Okay, still not brown. I'll turn my burner up just a touch. I'll check this back one. That's good. And I do flip them. I get them up with the spatula and then try to flip them with my fingers. Okay, this one's ready. Just flip it over. See how it's just ever the slightest bit brown? And what I'm going to do as I'm cooking these, I'm going to put them on, this is a piece of parchment paper, you could use wax paper, because I found the first one will stick to the plate. They don't stick to each other, but for some reason they stick to my plate, so I'm going to use the parchment paper. Alright, let's go back down here because we're ready to flip this one in the back here, I think. Yep, just slightly brown. Alright, so let them cook another just a few minutes on the other side. You want them kind of, you know, maybe a little crispy on the outside edge, but you want them soft in the middle. Let's flip this one back over a minute there. That's a better indication of how brown, just ever the slightest bit brown. So I'm going to switch on the burners now. They're both almost ready. Now they smell really good. This Old Bay. Now, if y'all can't find this where you live, it's sort of a combination of spices. Most people in the South use this for seafood, but it works well for a lot of stuff. All right, so we are ready to take these up now. So what you can do is just stack them right on top of each other. They really won't stick to each other. I'm going to put a little more, just a very little bit of the butter in there. All right, we're ready for our next one. Just mix your batter up a little bit, and then we're ready to dip it in. All right, here we go. Just immediately pick it up, turn it all around, get it all coated everywhere. And it also will evenly distribute that batter. Okay, ready for the next one. I've got such a big bowl, I have to turn my bowl up sideways to get the full 1/4 of a cup. All right, we're ready. Dump it in. Turn it all around. And really, if you just keep turning it, you'll get that batter really well distributed. And this one's already looking a little dry on the top. That's what you're looking for. And I also want a little brown. See, they're paper thin. That's what you're looking for. All right, we're about ready to check these out. So cook just a little more. This one back here, a little more. Just another maybe 20 seconds or so. Flip it over. Flip this one in the back. Yep. Just flip it right over. Just slightly brown. All right, I'm going to finish cooking these, and when we get through, I've got a special message for someone out there. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, we have gotten all of the crepes cooked, and this recipe did make 12. Sometimes it makes 10, sometimes it makes 12. This time it made 12. And we've got those just sitting aside. Of course, they're cool. All right, wait a minute. I wanted to say hello to Darian. Now, I wrote this down. Darren is 12 years old, and he lives in Huntingtown, Maryland. That's in Calvert County. And anyway, he wrote me an email and told me that he watches every morning before school, and that his family has made some of the pork tenderloin and some of the other recipes, and they made the green smoothies. Yay! All right, Darren, just keep watching, okay? And thank you so much for the email you sent. It was such a nice email. I really appreciate it. All right, so here we go. We are ready to do the filling for these crepes, and what I'm using is 1 pound of sirloin tips. And last time I got the sirloin tips, they were on sale. This time they were not on sale, so this cost about almost $6 for these sirloin tips. There come my dogs. Stevie, what do you want? All right, so we've got our skillet heating up, and I've got it on sort of a little above medium, and we're going to brown this the sirloin tips, get some of that good flavor, and roll them in flour and brown them. Now, the other thing that I'm going to put in this is going to be, this is about 8 ounces of those little white mushrooms and 1 sort of medium onion sliced really, really thin. All right, but first we're going to brown the sirloin tips. Let me move that down a little closer. There. All right, I need to take this glove off now. Just use that to do with the meat. I'm going to put a little salt on the meat. Alright, so as soon as this gets brown, I'll show you how we fix the rest of the filling. We'll be right back. Alright, we've got a now nice brown going on with the meat. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and put the onion in. That's going to create a little moisture in the pan. That cooked just a little longer. Now all this brown that's on the pan is what's going to give the great taste. So let those onions cook for just 30 seconds or so, just till they soften up just a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put the mushrooms in. So now, what we want to do is get some of that browned part off the bottom of the pan. I'm going to put in probably maybe 1/4 of a cup of the cooking sherry, which has got salt in it. So now we're going to put in about 3/4 of a cup of water. And we're going to let this simmer. We're going to scrape out what's on the bottom of the pan. That's going to make a little bit of a gravy. We're going to add something else to the gravy once this is simmered for a little while. That's gotten most of it up off the bottom of the pan. And that's what makes the sauce or the juice in there taste really, really good. Alright, so we're just going to turn this down to simmer and let it simmer here for maybe 15-20 minutes with the lid on. Turned it down to low. Just let it simmer for a little while. And anyway, when this gets completely done, we'll be back. Okay, our beef and mushrooms and onions have been cooking for maybe 10 minutes, but this is sirloin, top sirloin beef tips, so they're already tender. So now we're just going to take a spoon and dip the meat and mushrooms out of the gravy. Now we want those to cool somewhat, so before we start assembling everything. You want to be able to leave that gravy as much as you can in the pan, because we're going to mix something with that. So it'll cool a little bit. really hard to fill the crepes when the filling is really hot. All right, I think we about got it all now. And the rolling the little sirloin tips in flour and then browning them is what makes the gravy thick. Got one overboard here. Oh, all right. So now we've got left just the gravy. So we're going to add some other stuff to that now. I'm going to turn my burner back on, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the cooking sherry. Maybe another, I don't know, 1/3 of a cup probably. I'm going to need a whisk. I'll just use this, one of these little whisks will work. Just kind of bring that up to just a little bit of a boil. And this is a lot of trouble to make, but it is so good. And this will definitely serve 4 people. So you count on like 3 crepes for each person. All right. Wait for this to just come up to a little bit of a boil. That looks like it's good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off now. And I'm going to add what's probably a 1/2 cup of sour cream. And that's whole milk sour cream. Just mix that sour cream in with that gravy, because we're going to use some of this gravy inside the crepes, and we're also going to pour some on top of them. Use my whisk and get this mixed up. All right, that ought to do it. I'm going to give this a taste now. Make sure it's seasoned enough. It's perfect, just like it is. All right, so we're just going to wait and let all this cool down a bit, particularly the meat, and we'll start assembling the crepes as soon as it's cooled off a little bit. We'll be back. All right, we are ready to assemble the crepes. Got a large Pyrex dish I'm going to put them in. Alright, so this is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to take a crepe, lay it down, put the filling on one end. Now the filling is still a little warm. And then just roll it up. Like that. Put that the seam end down. All right, let's do another one. Now I want to show you, see, these don't stick together. You don't have to put wax paper in between them unless you're going to freeze them. And by the way, they freeze really well. All right, so I'm just using, this is a sort of a big spoon here. Trying to get maybe about 3 pieces of meat in each one. So pull it over and just roll it up as tight as you can and put the seam down. All right, let's just do one more while y'all are watching. All right, pull it over. Just roll it up tight. And then put the seam side down. All right, I'm going to finish rolling all the rest of these and we'll be back. All right, we've got all of the crepes rolled up now. Had a little bit of the mushrooms with a little bit of that sauce left, and I'm going to put those on top. Now, what we want to do is take this sauce that we made in the skillet and just pour it right over them. Okay, now to make sure that they all come apart when you're ready to serve them, just take a spatula and kind of go in between them. Make sure that sauce runs down in between them. That way they'll come apart from each other. Just run it down in between them, being careful not to break any of them. And by the way, the Pyrex pan, I did put a little bit of oil in the bottom because you wouldn't want anything to stick. All right. I got to lick that spoon. That sauce is really good. Get every last bit of it out. So now, the little leftover mushrooms sort of give an indication of what's in the crepes. I just put those right over the top. Now we're going to put this in about a 325-degree oven for just maybe 10-15 minutes just to warm everything back up until it's just a little bubbly. There it is, ready to go in the oven. I'm going to fix a salad, and we're going to be ready to eat here in about 15 minutes. All right, we'll be back, and I'll show you what they look like on the plate. All right, here are the stuffed crepes, and that's what they look like. Now, I did have to use 2 spatulas to get them out of the pan so they wouldn't, you know, come apart, so I did like that. So that's enough for another meal. So we're having them with just some tomatoes and some of those great cucumbers on a bed of baby spinach. And we're not even having any bread today, just some iced tea. All right, there's what they look like. All right, we will see y'all next time. And again, Darren, thanks so much for sending me that really nice email. All right, we'll see y'all next time.